Hey everyone, this is Kieran from Eccentric Physio. Today we're going to be talking about progressing our hip internal and external rotation into more upright positions. So we're going to look at half kneeling and into some lunges. The difference here is that we're biasing some of the rotation aspects of these movements at the hip instead of looking at just that sagittal sort of front, forward and back side of the movement. So if you think you might be needing a progression from the ground-based stuff into standing, then this is a good place to start. When we're thinking about lunge movement or half kneeling or being able to get up from half kneeling into standing, and if you're not sure what all that's about, then we've got a video on that for that transition phase. It's quite a useful movement to have capacity in. But you might find that there's still some stability issues with it, that you feel like you're going to fall over. And that restriction, or the reason for that, might be because of some rotation loss at the hip. So one of the ways to start addressing that is first to just get into that movement. Now, each of these movements are requiring, when I say each of these movements, I just mean that the front leg's doing one thing and the back leg's doing another thing. Each of these positions is requiring a degree of internal rotation, this guy going this way, and a degree of external rotation, this guy going this way. Same for the back, except it's a little bit less obvious. I've got a degree of external rotation happening here, and a degree of internal rotation happening here. So what we can pick up is if it's a limitation, first is to be in whatever your neutral is. Neutral just means for you, your resting position, somewhere in the middle. Can from this position, you get up like this, like you're gonna take a step and walk forward. If you feel like your balance is pretty solid, then carry on, throw some weights in, move into our lunging exercises. If though you're all over the place, feet are coming off and you're losing your balance, then let's check and clear some rotation issues. So first, this front leg is gonna be a little more biased towards external rotation, okay? And what that means is it has to start in external here, but as I stand up, it's going to go into an internally rotated position. The opposite is true for the back leg. I'm starting in an internally rotated position, relative, and as I go up, it's going into a bit more of an externally rotated position. The degree of change isn't as big as, say, the front leg, but you want to be able to get into a good start position, and then you also want to be able to get into a good finish position. So, how do we bias the external rotation and test that? Well, first, can you bring that knee outside of your foot? If there's a block there and you can't do that, then I would jump back into one of our external rotation exercises and build some capacity there. And then while you're here, add a little bit of load so that your torso tightens up and you don't fall over, and then work on being here and balancing. When you feel like you can balance, then work on getting up. That same progression is going to apply for any of these restrictions. You're just going to tackle each of the restrictions with a different exercise. For the internal rotation, same thing. Can I twist my hips and look down at the outside of my knee? Or can I look down on the inside of my other shoe here? So can I look here on the other foot? That's going to require that internal rotation. If you can do that, then you know that you've got some movement there. If you can't, then I would jump back again and work on the internal rotation series of our exercises. Once you get the range, you might as well take it into this position again and work through that progression. A little bit of weight, holding on maybe in the front, or some weights down here just so you have to stabilize, and then work on getting up and getting down, okay? Other things that are going to help are just getting into lunges. Maybe you start at the top of the lunge and work your way down into more depth, which we'll talk about in our lunge video. So give this a go, just a quick way to test out if there's some rotation deficits in that position. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.